Hey, what is up guys? So, we are going to be taking a look at the best cards that come out of Premium Gold 2014, which is scheduled to release on March 28th. And what is sweet with this box is it's only going to be $15 per box. Usually these Gold series that come out every year charge about $20, unless you count the Pyramid Edition, which did come with a mat. What's cool with this is it's a little bit different. You get 3 mini packs for a total of the same amount that you've always been getting. But, you know, more packs equals more excitement, which equals more awesomeness. So, you get 6 Gold secrets and 9 gold rares in total. So let's go ahead and check out the spoiler list as well as talk about some of what's going to be expected to see in the game. There's a bunch of gimmicks puppet support which we'll talk about at the end of the video, but basically what it comes down to is a bunch of OCG exclusive cards. If you guys just want to check out the spoiler list, it's already available on the wiki page. That's what we're going to be going by, and you can check that in the link down below in the description box. But if you want to stick around for the discussion as well as check out some of the hotter cards that you want to pull out of these, or maybe trade your friends to get when you open up your gold series, these are the cards you're going to be looking out for, as well as just some of the cooler cards. So first off, we have number 13 as well as number 31. If you're a number hunter, these cards are finally coming out in the TCG. But basically, if you're interested in playing the deck, what this deck does is you get out one of each, and their effects are that you detach one material and your opponent must attack them, and then your opponent takes all the battle damage, and both of these cards cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Unfortunately, that is still not good enough in the game, because cards like number 101, cards like Tiramisu, cards like Big Eye, you can just target them and then just take them or do whatever you want to do with them, and then from there you've ruined their setup. It takes them a while to set up because it's technically 4 level 1 monsters, but there are cards that can just special summon, level 1s, Enchanted Fitting Room. There's a lot of different ways to make the deck, but it's not going to be too competitive a deck. Like, a lot of newer duelists read this card and they think it's really good because I've heard a lot about this card, but it's more just going to be there for collector purposes. So don't look to top some YCSs with this card. It's very easy to stop with number 101. Next up we have Gaga Academy Emergency Network. This isn't going to make Gaga's like tier 1, but it definitely has some potential for the deck because once per turn, you can only use one of them per turn, but you get a special a Gaga monster from your deck. So Gaga Magician plus Gaga Girl equals access to anything 1 through 8, and that's a pretty good effect. I think that there's going to be a lot of chronometry, well, there's actually some chronometry stuff coming out later on, which we'll talk about once that stuff gets released. It's the Nebra disc that makes that deck absolutely crazy, but we don't have that in the TCG yet, but this card is actually going to be pretty awesome. It's going to basically allow you to use 2 cards to make any XYZ that you want 1 through 8. So it's a pretty cool card, and it's been in the OCG for quite a while and we haven't had it. Next up we have Ghost of a Grudge, which is a really cool card. I've never even heard about this card until now, but it's a trap card that says if your opponent has 8 or more cards in the graveyard, the attack of all monsters your opponent currently controls becomes 0. What's really cool with this is you can use this in, say, something like Gladiator Beast, where they attack you, you activate it, now their monster dies, and then you get a tag out. That's pretty good. I mean, you get to deal battle damage. It is technically conditional, but there's a lot of decks that go relatively quick. An example would be like if you're maybe playing against Lightsworn, hey, it's not that uncommon for them to get 8 cards, turn 1 to 3. So it's very accessible against certain decks, but if you're playing like an anti-meta deck where they won't get that many cards in the graveyard for quite some time, it might not be that good. Another really cool way to use this card is with a spirit card called Asura Priest. What that card does is it can attack all your opponent's cards once during that turn. It is a spirit monster, but it has 1700 attack, and if you make all their monsters become 0, you just essentially kill all their monsters and you inflict a bunch of battle damage to them. So really cool card for like some random decks, and I think that'd be kind of cool. I mean, heck, you could maybe make an Asura Priest OTK with Ghost of a Grudge. Next up we have reprints of Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the Sky Dragon, as well as Ra. Didn't really feel like it was necessary to mention Ra though, because there's so many people that don't want Ra. I feel like out of all the Egyptian gods, Ra has the worst effect. I feel like, well, Ra is basically all in no fear, but then he can still get effect baited, which kind of sucks. There's actually a really trollsy video where I'll put the link down below in the description box. It's hilarious. You guys gotta see it. This guy goes all in with Ra and then loses to Veiler. But anyways, Obelisk the Tormentor is probably the best one, so if you're looking to play a god deck and you haven't owned a god card, hey, Obelisk is coming out in here, and he's probably the best one out of all of them. There's also Slifer the Sky Dragon. This one is kind of expensive just because it was a short print, or perhaps there's just collector value. People like Slifer over the rest of them, perhaps. I have no idea why this card is more expensive than Ra, because both of them are not that great. Although, there's a pretty cool build with Slifer the Sky Dragon where you can get Slifer the Sky Dragon up to like absurd amount of attack where you just one-hit them. I'll put a link down below for that as well if you guys want to check that out. Next up, we have Black Feather Dark Rage Dragon, which is actually over in OTG they call it the Black Feathers. That's what we call Black Wings. But it is a dragon, actually, so this card's effect is once per turn. When you take damage from an attack or card effect, you get to send up to 5 cards, and then if any of them were monsters, you gain 400 attack. So 3200 attack, not that bad. If you stack one card with Plex Spreader, then you take damage. Like a wolf, you can not only mill wolf, but then you're able to special summon wolf, gain the attack boost, and kind of have a little setup. So depending, I don't think it'll work with cost because I'm pretty sure that's not taking damage. It's a different aspect in the game. I know discarding and sending from the grave. From the hand to the grave are two different things. There's always those little keywords in Yu-Gi-Oh! That change how effects work. Next up, we have Underworld Dragon, Dragon Necro, which is a really cool card. There's going to be a bunch of support for zombies. I think they're trying to push zombies just a little bit. We had the vampires, and then nothing really happened to them. But who knows? Maybe they'll release something really good for them in the future. But this card's pretty good. I believe you use this card with Dragon's Mirror. I mean, you could use Polymerization, but that's not going to be nearly as effective. But its effect is that if this card battles a monster, that monster cannot be destroyed by that battle. At the end of the damage step, when this card battles an opponent's monster, that monster's attack becomes 0. Also special summon one Dark Soul zombie token that has the same attack and same level of that monster that you attacked, and you can only control one of them. But this card's really, really good. I mean, since it can't destroy that monster by battle, basically, you get to, make that attack 0, then your token has the same attack as whatever it attacked. So basically you get to run over the monster and inflict straight battle damage. It's a really good card, and I think that it has a lot of potential to make zombies a little bit better, just depending on what we have for supports. I've already done a video on this, but I looked for it and I couldn't find out what they called it, because the card's name was called something different before. But I'll be doing some videos, and hopefully they'll get some more support for zombies, and we can mess around with this card just a little bit more. Next up, we have one of the best cards in this entire set, Beelze of the Diabolic Dragon. This card is so good. There are certain decks, if you make this, you simply just win. But anyways, it is a non-generic though. It does require a Dark Tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. And when you take any damage involving this card from an opponent's card effect, or if it just tries to attack it, this card gains attack equal to the damage you took permanently, which is really sweet. And I think this card is one of the best synchros that we've gotten in a long time. I know that it's not technically super meta, because there's cards like 101 which can steal it, or Big Eye and steal it. There's a bunch of cards that can just like target it, and at that point D-Prison's a thing. But certain decks just can't beat this. Like, there's like no outs to this card. This card just, it beats like certain decks because like they have no answers to that. A lot of older decks, I mean, if they can't target this thing, then like they lose. Unfortunately, basically the card, it loses to 101. 101 ruins a lot of setups, like the whole Cain and Abel, number 31 and 13, that basically ruins that deck. Number 101 is just too hot right now. But next up we have basically a copy of the Signer Dragon. We have a Machine Powerful Dragon. This card just allows you to draw, and then once per turn, when your opponent equips a card, you can equip it to him instead, which is pretty sweet. I like that aspect. Next up we have Ancient Pixie Dragon, which is another one of those. I don't think these count as Ancient Fairy Dragon though, because I know that there's technically the other version, Stardust Radiant Dragon, and there's also a Jeweled Red Dragon Archfiend. So I think they're making a copy of each one of these Signer Dragons, which is the Red Dragon Archfiend, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, and Black Rose Dragon. There is, I think it's called Moon Rose Dragon is what they're calling the other one, but anyways, this one has the effect of once per turn, if there's a face-up field spell on the card, you can target one face-up attacker as a monster you control and destroy that target. Not bad. I think it's a pretty good effect, just get rid of something. And also, if a field spell during your turn, if you activate field spell, you get to draw one card. So both of them have like a little bit of a draw power effect. This one is when you activate an equip, and it's only once per turn. Otherwise, that'd be like ridiculous. Just keep on drawing, draw equips, keep on equipping. That'd be amazing. Next up, we have a reprint of Effect Bearer. It's just a good card, good reprint. So look out for that. There's also the reprint of this. Even though Fire Fist took kind of a huge hit, the deck kind of still works. It's not like completely dead, but it definitely took a hit. We've got a Solar Recharge reprint. Also should mention that the Lightsworn Structure deck is going to be, or Structure Box, whatever they're going to be releasing it as, is going to be coming out for the TCG. They did announce it. I forgot they didn't name the exact date, but it is on the official website, so we got this coming. There's also a reprint of Mirror Force and Parental Tribute, which I thought was kind of good to mention. Foil staples are always, going to be popular, so if you get, hollow version of these, your friends are probably going to want them, and people like to make their deck shiny, so they're good cards to get. There's also a reprint of all the Forbidden Chalice, Lance, and Dress, which are pretty cool. Although those haven't been really too meta right now, but I know they're good to mention. I think that they are still technically good cards in my opinion. Other cards, there's a bunch of reprints of cards that we've already had, like Plague Spreader, Mizuki, Judgment Dragon, Phoenix Wing, Wind Blast, Bottomless, Gold Sark, Mind Control. There's also, what is it, BLS, which, like, I love the card and all, but, like, you guys reprinted that as a super and it was really easy to get. I think we should have got a reprint of Arcanite Magician. Like, if you guys didn't know, Arcanite Magician has never been reprinted. Like, I don't know why, they just, like, they totally forgot about that card. Whereas Quasar would have been a sick reprint in here, but they kind of hit rekindling, so good luck, trying to push that. But it's a fan favorite card, and a lot of people still, collect the game, collect cards in the game. There's still Trapstone, Summoner Monk. There's a bunch of little awesome cards. Raikou is getting a reprint as, gold rare. I think that this is pretty cool that all the cards are going to be gold rare. I don't know if they're, like, gold common or if they're actually gold. I haven't actually seen one of them myself. I'll probably pick up one of these just to check them out. There's also a reprint of, like, Crane. There's a bunch of Chaos Dragon cards in here as well, but there is a card that I'm like, I don't know. Some people, if you guys didn't know that there's that ban list that came out like yesterday or 2 days ago, but anyways, Morphing Jar was on the list, but then Wall of Revealing Light was gone. Some people think the list is fake. I just think it's interesting that they're putting Morphing Jar here, even though they just banned it. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But for the most part, most of these cards are going to be, usable. I would say that there are a bunch of Chronomy cards and there's a bunch of Gimmick Puppet cards. I'm not sure which ones are going to be actually hot. There's a bunch of cards that just say like, okay, you control Gimmick Puppet, okay, special. Okay, you just one in the graveyard, special Gimmick Puppet. And instead of mentioning the hot Gimmick Puppets, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a Gimmick Puppet deck for you guys, and we're going to see what is good with the deck. I think that there are a bunch of XYZs in that deck, but I mean, you do use a lot of your resources to make them. Sometimes you have to use like 2 cards to make 2 or 3 cards just to make one of your Gimmick Puppet, or going for your XYZ plays. And if your opponent just like Saw Mornings it's not looking too good for you. That's one thing with the deck. But your main deck, triple MST, main deck, your new gold rare Trapstone, and you'll be good to go. So for the most part, I would say the best card out of this entire set, if I had to name one, is going to be Beelze of the Diabolic Dragon. And I'm pretty stoked to build this because we have Malicious is at 3, D-Draw is at 3, and Plug Spreader is at 2 right now, so pretty easy to make Beelze and make double Beelze, really cool. Also, I did a video where I did double Beelze Tag Team, and I'll put that in the description box as well if you guys want to check that out. But let me know what cards you guys are excited for, whether I mentioned them or not, as well as if you guys are going to be picking up Gold Series 2014. Like I said, I'll probably pick up one. Personally, for me, I just want to see what the heck these gold rares look like in person. And for 15 bucks, it's not bad. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, let me know what your favorite card out of this set is going to be. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Asian Eyes out.